It's the Magic Dom B here with Francis Tomasevich. We are 2026, and we're speaking with that boy Quincy Nelson. Quincy Nelson, right?
It is Quincy Nelson.
Now, can you officially, not even just tell the people, can you tell me what do you do and what do you do right now? Like, what are you trying to do right now as far as like your art and as being a creative?
So it's kind of funny. I was looking for a word to define myself. I think I'm trying to like do all these different things and bring all these things together, but in reality I would be called a young impressionist. So an impressionist,
that's a fire ass.
Yeah, it's name. Yeah. You like that, don't you? So I actually got that from Madison, who runs Mad's Gallery. And
which gallery?
It's called Mad's Gallery.
Is that in Louisville?
Yeah, it's locally owned. She's the owner of that.
Shout out Mad's Gallery.
Dude, no, she's amazing. Definitely a creative. Definitely a young impressionist. Basically.
Okay, so when you say you about to get to that point?
Yeah, I'm about to get to it. Yeah,
my bad.
No, it's okay. It's okay. Basically, a young impressionist is somebody that impresses on something. So if there's an idea or a thing that needs to happen, you get young people who carry the wave, and you get them to carry that idea and do it. All we really need is that old money.
So it has nothing to do with impressionism.
No.
Okay.
At first I thought it was.
Clear it out, because impressionism is totally a whole nother thing.
Yeah, it's a whole nother thing. At first I thought it was that, but Mads kept me up to speed. No, it's for our modern age, somebody that impresses upon a thing and makes it happen.
It's almost kind of like a leader of sorts.
It's almost what originally influencer was supposed to be.
Yeah. Okay.
And then it changed. Influencer was literally what that exact. But then it became we dropped that. But that's basically the exact same definition of what, like, in 2010 there's this documentary that came out in New York about all these like New York cool kids and how they were influencers, and this is before it became 2010.
Oh, okay.
And this is before it became like the whole IG wave happened and everything. So that was the defining moment of this whole influencer culture, and they were talking about who was and then it had like Jeff Staple and whoever else talking about the cool kids that are cool but aren't cool. They don't really have a following, but they're defining what everybody else does.
It was almost like the hipster ironic era of shit.
I mean, it was right after that. Yeah.
And that's the thing. Like I'm on like both waves. I wanted to be like in the mainstream kind of light, and I definitely worked with people and brands in that, but at the same time I would say that because I did stuff in New York, I did stuff in Memphis when I did some internships there, and working in the mainstream light is dope, but there is like this kind of rustic, kind of like that American way of like picking yourself up by your bootstraps when you're in the underground, when you're like behind the scenes making stuff happen. It kind of makes me think about, okay, do I want to be like in the light where everybody can see me and be like a celebrity, or do I want to be in the background so I can move like more stealthily and more quickly, what I'm saying? And I don't have to worry about my image as much. We hear all about these billionaires and millionaires. I've never seen these guys before except the ones that show their faces, but there are tons of them. I just don't know what they are, don't know what they move. So my thing as being a young impressionist, I'm like, let me talk to these people. I want to get stuff moving, and I want to work with other people so we can like build the city up.
What's wild is you say that, and I think about you hugging all those older white women inside the Ponzi.
Bruh.
Shout out to Louisville, Kentucky, Germantown. Let's get it.
Dude.
The premiere, like not like you were just like being like very like, hey, like trying to build rapport with them, because I think a lot of problem with our city.
There's a disconnect.
There's a disconnect between like the young, because like there's a disconnect between like seriously. There's a disconnect between our generation and that generation, and honestly, like what they define as art here. Yeah. Because we see me and Frank. One of the biggest things that inspired me was in high school. Whenever I got my car, me, Frank, and a few of our buddies would on the first Fridays of each month, we would go down to Nulu. What's Nulu now, which is Market at the time.
And it was the gallery hops, which was there was a whole gallery scene, which isn't really there anymore.
So when Frank, when we did the self-release party, when Frank has a Know Nothing party, or we do any type of party or whatnot, and we want refreshments and stuff there or whatnot. Yeah. it reminds me of like when we were kids, 16, 17 years old, going down to market and being around these like older white people who were like into art, which we were kids who loved art. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I got favorite pieces. Frank,
all in there.
Frank's like, it fucked me up because he actually can like name artists and different timepieces and stuff like that. Like,
sure.
It's crazy, you know, which I'm not like surprised, but it's impressive when a person who is like of the street culture and something like that can also like say like, you know, like name fine artists, you know. So I don't know, man. It's crazy because like how it's connected now with what we're doing at Barrel Bar, and I know what you're trying to do as far as being an impressionist and just like kind of like lead both of these two generations together and be like, hey, like let's make this huge thing instead of being so separated.
Yeah, because here's the thing. I don't know, like, cause you know you can think of people like Kanye. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's pushing 50 now.
Yeah, I guess he's 40.
Yeah, he's pushing 50.
That's 70 in black.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yeah,
why do you think he only wears sweatsuits now?
Oh my gosh, bro! Hey man, he be drinking sometimes. I don't know, yeah. But the thing about it is just like it's hard if you're not in the creative field, and then you now have money and now you can sponsor the creative field. You're pushing what you like, not necessarily what the culture in Louisville like. Because there's only a certain number of people I know who really know art and they're older, that push the stuff that I want to see.
Could you actually name those people?
One of the great guys I think that's really doing some dope stuff. Oh my gosh. Steve Wilson is kind of mainstream, but he gets people that I don't know.
Who is Steve Wilson?
So Steve Wilson's the owner of 21C Hotels.
Okay, but
he's a good friend of mine. I've been hanging out with him.
And apparently they just sold. And only own the only Louisville one now. So they just sold to a big hotel business.
Damn,
so they're gonna keep on expanding, but Steve doesn't officially own all of 21C anymore, which is kind of like damn.
George Lucas' Star Wars now.
Kind of, yeah. I think they basically like they gave up the deal, so but now the thing about 21C is now they're about to open up some like a Chicago location,
probably boutique style.
But like they could probably take whatever hotels that like say it's a bigger hotel company, so whatever like say a hotel in New York is unsuccessful by this company, and they're just all right, let's just 21C it. Boom. And then like boom, you have a brand new fire boutique hotel. I mean,
there's nothing you can do with it. I mean, there's plenty of things you can do with it. Excuse me. Another person I think is doing firework. He just moved from Portland into the
Louisville, Portland,
yeah. Oh my gosh, I tell you, it's so hard when you're on the spot. But I do know some key people that are like doing some older people, but it's not a lot.
I mean,
Gil Holland.
Is always,
okay, yeah.
Al Shands, who owns the Great Meadows Foundation, who's giving $5,000 to artists, to travel with the grant. Like any Kentucky artist can apply to this grant.
Yep.
Yeah, and even I'm sure even musicians. Like I don't know how, like, what it means. You know, whatever you are as an artist, I feel like anybody can apply to the Al Shands Great Meadows Foundation because the only requirement is you can't be in school. So like,
boom, I'm in.
Like you know. But it's like a travel grant. So like you can. It's like, so it's hey, you want to go, and I don't know, like in South America to learn about the music culture there and bring it back to Louisville.
Exactly.
You could go. They would give you $5,000 if you're a Kentucky artist to go do that.
Shit, I knew that.
Exactly.
Hey, no, yeah.
He told me about that. No,
and I didn't even think about it in a music perspective, but why it is all a part of art's culture.
Why don't I go to Africa?
Boom.
Yeah.
West Africa.
Boom.
About, you know?
Exactly.
Get that culture in you. But yeah, and that's the thing. You know what I'm saying? It's like I think the one thing in this community and this culture is that some kids who are waiting on their chance that didn't get their chance have to create their own chance.
I mean, and I would only know about that resource if I went to U of L, so like I didn't know about
it.
But also, I'm gonna interrupt you, man.
Yeah, go ahead.
And I tell people, and my bad, but I tell people what's so inspiring about being around Frank, and honestly, just Frank. He does. I'm gonna name some other people, just not.
But he's right here.
And like, I think the reason why we connected with you is like you're doing, and I think a lot of artists around here need to understand you got to make opportunities for yourself. There was a point in time where like I felt like people weren't playing my music in places, so I started DJing.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, there's a point in time where like I felt like I was getting put on first at shows or whatnot.
Yeah.
And I had the most people come out there, so started organizing my own shows. And I hear a lot of artists around here get so frustrated with how stuff is ran around here. I'm like, hey man, like,
just get in there.
Do it yourself.
Also at the end of the day, it's all like for me. I've always like thought like why make a middleman? I mean, we've had a bunch of middleman situations.
It's so frustrated, bro.
But also like doing art shows, doing pop-ups, every time you're gonna have to give that middleman a cut, even if they don't do any of the work, because you went through them, that you have to break them off a piece of the pie. And I totally respect that. But if you can cut out, go direct the source. Yep. You purely like no matter what, reap all the profit and risk whatever you're doing, but at least you learn your lesson and you get that profit too. I mean, everything's profit, and no matter what.
And even in recent times,
for sure.
When we're doing shows and stuff like that, there's times I'm like, damn, Frank, you think you guys gonna come out to this? He's like, whatever, man. Like, we doing it anyways, and we gonna go hard with it. So
yeah, I mean, here's the thing. I've been around. I've been in the scene for about a couple years now. I remember I met Frank at either an art show or I met Roger introduced me to you.
Yeah.
And
he met me right here in this.
Boom.
Damn, I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, bro. Hey, man.
At University of Louisville.
You know what I'm saying?
After hours.
Hey, after hours. That's what we do right here. We get in. But I think the thing about it is like you two are actively changing the culture, and I'm with you there. I get to see all that things that happen. Like I'm meeting people that I didn't necessarily think I wouldn't be able to meet, but after being around you two, it's like more possible. And that's the thing. All you have to really do in Louisville to be around the people you want to be around is just hang around somebody that's doing the work.
And that applies to anywhere.
Exactly.
Not just here, because, I mean...
That's one thing he's really good at, is just hanging with somebody.
It's not what you know, it's who you know.
Yeah.
But, like, I've met every popping person in the scene, in the world right now, just by chance, just being in the right place at the right time, but also just, like, going with the flow, not having any fear, being confident in myself and what I do, and not ever really... I mean, it's not like I didn't take no for an answer, but just, like... There was never a time when I'd be like, hey, can I come? It was just like, they would just be like, you're cool, come with us. And like, things happen. But like, if you're just like,
oh, well, maybe I'll do it.
Like, I wouldn't want to ask. Or like, if you get all nervous and be like, hey, can I go with you guys back to the hotel? And then like, if I started getting intimidated in some way like that, then of course they'd be like, this guy's weird.
Exactly.
Why is he coming with us? So like, that's how like, I met like, or like ended up in hotel rooms with Luca, Sabat, Mike Wax, and Gabe Uzi at the same time, showing them
influencers.
Yeah, the biggest, like some of the biggest influencers or whatever. But like showing them the first like early Cardi tracks. So like you go back to those days. Those days.
Hey. I like his ad lib context right there.
Context.
Yeah, that's hot though.
And so we got Migos over here.
All set.
And so like, if there was never a situation where we were like, okay, what's going on, or like, is this right, or were you second guessing yourself? Because they're never like, if you're in that moment, you should just be living in that moment. Like, I don't know.
Dude, and that's also how all those guys got to that.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
I mean,
dude, the moment is so powerful. The moment is you have to. Keep
it's funny because that same day or 2 days before that, we're outside, we're chilling. We're FaceTiming our friend in Texas, me and Gabe and Luca, Dennis. We're FaceTiming Dennis, and Travis comes down with his art director. Travis Scott, he comes down and he's like, what the fuck y'all doing out here? Y'all goofy ass motherfuckers. We're literally on FaceTime, and Travis is like trying to joke on us for FaceTiming. We're just like in the middle of Soho, like off Lafayette.
Hey, I remember that.
Or like, it's like Lafayette, like further down from the Supreme store, because we were just all kicking it. I think Mike the Ruler was there too.
Mike
the Ruler. Yeah. So like we're all just
I need to do a cover as one of his songs, man. I love it.
But so we're all just kicking it, and it's just really funny. And Travis comes out and is like trying to joke. I was like high as fuck, and it just happened to be like we're on a laptop on the street connected to like Walgreens' Wi-Fi.
I'm actually imagining that picture.
Dude, that sounds hot. I mean, that sounds like a Frank situation.
But he can show you. It's on his Tumblr.
I mean, I have pictures of us just kicking
on Instagram,
it.
I think. So
you need to see those.
It's in the archives. But
all the archives. Well, and you know that's
and
the thing.
I started archiving everything because I wanted to basically turn my Instagram into a gallery versus like. because nobody's looking at 3,000 of my posts.
No.
I mean,
you didn't delete either.
I didn't delete, but like I never deleted, and I kept things up forever, and I was just like, well, I didn't really like. I can always bring things back from that time, or show something that like really was like I don't know, wasn't really recognized at the time for what it is, which like now kids like Race Corrupted Mind and whoever else are like doing the same exact thing.
His Instagram was fire.
But at the time it was like the whole thing didn't even exist yet.
No.
Which is dope.
Because here's the thing. I like that, and it's just like whatever we define what the culture is.
Yeah.
If you're, whether you're teens, 20s, 30s, or if you're doing something that nobody's doing right now. And I had to think about that when...
And it's crazy because like right now, like those same kids, now they're coming... Right now, all those kids are hanging out in Lexington, Kentucky. Like, and have been for like the last 2 weeks.
First off, I'm not a big UK fan, so going to Lexington is pretty weird.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you something. Lexington's got some of the most beautiful women.
Oh, for sure.
Most artsy women. Shout out Lexington, Kentucky, okay?
I need to take
I've only gone a few times. It's cool. I love Lexington, but...
Straight up, they got a nice artsy scene there.
Yeah, they got Institute 193.
I have to go down, man. I'm missing out.
I mean, I wanted to go catch the Ralph Steadman exhibit before it closes, but I don't know if I will.
Hey, Louisville to Lexington, mileage, baby. Bryson.
Hey, Bryson really glowed up in Lexington. He might have to claim Lexington 100%, but they put him on a recruit poster the other day for UK. Like I saw, it was like the recruit got picked or whatever, and it had him and Bryson with the UK. I was like, damn, they really are claiming him like more than.
So like, what's your next move right now?
So my next move is a little bit. So, we got Derby coming up. There's some people I definitely want to try to connect with. There's some definitely like events I'm trying to go to. Definitely active in my community, not just, just with my church, but with also like just other things in the social scene that I need to get in there. I need to see what it's about. Mm-hmm. I definitely am planning a trip to France and Italy in the fall. I've been talking about. The grant? Yeah, that's either going to be with the grant or with my own money. Yeah, I don't care how we get there.
I still need to apply that grant,
dude, it's going to be... Here's the thing. You can't... I feel like being in Louisville is awesome. Yeah. And here's the thing. A lot of people want to get out. But... I talked to Frank about this. But here's the thing. At least before you go, give something to the city that they can
hold on to. Remember?
Yeah, like not even that. Just give them something that like says I graduated from like Louisville, the city. You know what I'm saying? Because so many people are ready to leave. So many people are ready to start their careers, and then they get back, and they're all held up in high esteem. And I'm like, but what did he do?
I think the important thing, I think what's beautiful about that is I was talking to my buddy Taylor. Shout out Taylor, he's a rapper. Taylor Rogers. When I was at From T Raj on IG.
Come on.
I was talking to him about how much respect I have for Jack Harlow.
Yes.
Because Jack is a kid that everybody saw grow up here.
Yeah.
We saw his brand become something different. We saw his music become something bigger than what it was. We just saw Jack grow up and just like become like this star that he is right now. You know? So when you say graduating from Louisville, like that's somebody who I feel like people from Louisville even love even more because he was on the Louisville scene. Yeah. He did give something to Louisville.
Yes.
And he still gives
right now he's low key on his bachelor's degree. Like he's going through all these motions. Once he hit, it's like the college dropout to the graduation. Like, he has the the third project. He's gonna graduate from like by the time he reaches those little points, like he just did the waterfront. Next step is the Young Center. Straight up, but seriously though, he just saw the water, that was crazy, dude. It was insane, man. And then he brought Bryson Tiller out, which
nobody was expecting that.
No, I was because I saw Bryson.
Oh boy, whatever.
Yeah. When he said he's a surprise, like I knew they were like was it cahoots the right term?
Yeah,
I knew they were talking.
There was times that Jack tweeted like, "Hey,
well, not even that. I know he works with one of my buddies, Chauncey, who worked with Chauncey, who worked with Bryson Tiller early on, and Chauncey's a part of that private garden camp. Shout out Ace Pro. So yeah.
I mean, we've had deep connections with the garden since it goes back to elementary school. So.
Yeah, frankly,
dude, I was in the marching band. So. I was in marching band with the homies.
I guess Juan and Keys. Yeah.
And so we hung out with them a little bit. They were just funny. They were goofy. but you know, they were good guys to know. And that's the thing, like.
And honestly, like back then, I mean, I wouldn't have seen them becoming performers because they really seemed to shy away from like the limelight, and they really worked and, you know, crafted themselves into
the grind,
into what they are now.
Juan's also one of those people who can kind of do anything.
Yeah,
he was like really good at basketball. So yeah, like, man, he's just one of those like crazy.
But it's interesting because like a lot of people don't look at like, okay, they really started making music at like age 19, 20.
Yeah.
They didn't do like, I mean, I think Juan started playing with beats at like 16, 17. But besides that,
because he was focused on basketball,
they were such late bloomers. Like you really see today, kids are like really starting at like 14, you know, really young. And so like they're like, it is cool to see another group of people start so late and still do well and get really good at what they're doing and show you can do it. No matter at what point. Like most of them are college graduates.
Yeah, straight up though.
Dude, I'm excited.
Like
he's in a fraternity.
Yeah, they're successful. They went through that. I mean, they can do whatever jobs, and this is not their backup plan. Like, but they're going. You know, this is their full-on fledged like where they're going. So.
Well, here's the thing about that. I'm so proud of like so many college graduates like doing stuff, because back then, you know, either these people dropped out, some people dropped out, or some people never went to college and, you know, just like, this is what I'm gonna do, and I'm like, I appreciate that. But for those people that did go to college, hey, shout out to you. Like, hey, you know what I'm saying? Rep your degree. I did. Bellman University, 2016, baby.
I'll say something though. I think just nowadays, I think that we put so much on education, and it's great.
I mean, there's a lot of pressure, but
I think it's important to educate yourself.
Yes.
We got YouTube, we got tools like that, and I always say,
and you got to figure out how to jug the system. If you're not getting it for free in some way, if you're not getting paid to go to school in some ways, which a lot of the people that we know ended up figuring out what scholarships to go for, how to, like, you know, keeping their grades up and getting the money back to where they're not like basically putting themselves in a grave, because like low key you're working for that. It's modern day slavery.
It's also an investment as well too
for everybody.
And I mean, I think we gotta. I think it's cool people going to school and stuff like that, but I think it's also just cool that, I mean, dude, like fucking like, I always say like GarageBand and fucking like Fruity Loops did more for our generation than,
bruh, so
you know what I mean? I mean, that's
so
free
sad.
programs. I mean, GarageBand came with your fucking laptop.
Yeah.
Fruity Loops, you could just fucking like get the free demo or whatnot, and dudes were like making beats, which are like worth like hundreds of thousands of dollars. I mean, look at, what's Chief Keef's producer?
Yeah, I mean, and then the iPhone too.
Who's Chief Keef's producer? I'm blanking right now, but you know, stuff like that.
Yeah, and here's that, and that's the thing. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I love our generation because we can take the smallest amount of tools.
You feel me?
Because we got like $1,000 freaking phones. We got like some offhand
iPhones
brands.
really are really worth whatever you make them worth, because I got the SE still.
Yeah.
I don't use an iPhone, people. I use a Google Pixel. And
see,
Tesla.
this man, he just had to shout that. You're in a Mac lab right now, man. Show some respect.
I know we have PCs. We have PCs.
Hey,
the PCs are actually in here are better than the Macs in here.
Hey,
the Macs are old.
I don't diss PC, but I like what I like.
I like Apple computers.
Shout out to Mountain Dew.
I do not like Apple phones.
Shout out to Mountain Dew, yeah. They've been doing big things.
Mountain Dew is the Mac computer of drinks.
Especially here in Kentucky.
I have no clue where this conversation is going.
But anyway,
we're taking it there.
Yeah. Right. But I think the thing about it is like, back to our previous conversation. The culture in Louisville is set up in such a way where either people just gravitate to what's already been happening. Yeah. And when somebody brings something new or somebody's hot right now, you know, right now I think you have like not a cult following, but you do have the certain amount of creatives coming to your stuff. Like everybody I know around you is creative. And that's like dope because you have a bunch of people that can like do stuff around you, which is
and the call is always open to work together and
exactly.
And a lot of people don't think it's weird about me. They're like, oh, you know, he's gonna charge me this much or whatever to work. He works with all these blah 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 people, and I mean a lot of my work is pro bono. Like it's straight up, it's free. I help out anybody and everybody, do whatever. Yeah. If you come to me with an idea that's cool and you want to try and execute it, and you have cash to pay for the film and whatever, and it is a cool idea, and I believe in your work, I'm gonna work with you because no matter what, it's gonna benefit everybody in a good way.
Yeah, and I'm gonna say something on that point. but
ooh.
A lot of people
Come
always
through.
ask me, they're like, who does your artwork? Who does this? Who does that? And I immediately say Frank, but I'm gonna have to start saying, come with a vision, because a lot of what Frank has done for me. Okay. And now you got also understand this is like 10 plus years of friendship as well too. So it's also just us knowing each other. But a lot of times, like, so when we did the when I did my like essentially first official project, and that was with Bonds. It was called Mr. Nova.
The first project we did.
Even the first, I take that back. That Dom DP or whatnot. We were real big in like fucking film photos and whatnot. This is like me and Frank are kids with Tumblr. You know what I mean? So we were real into just shooting like off of like the
Tumblr.
And so we grabbed the disposable shot.
Walgreens. Shout out Walgreens.
Shot the whole Walgreens. Shot the whole EP. We just rolled around Sharply.
I was real into Star Wars at the time, and I've always been big into toys. Pause. But
it wasn't even like that.
Not even like that. Just like, you know, it's a lot of weird shit happening with kids right now.
Okay.
But I'm saying, like, I was real into just, I've always been like that, and we shot it at the Dixie Highway. We shot it at the Toys R Us on Dixie Highway. I'm a Shavli boy. And then we shot it with my purple lightsaber with one of our best friends.
I got one in the car right now.
So, like, anything that me and Frank does, I think people look at it and they're like, oh my gosh, I think they're going to do the same thing. I'm like, I come to him with a vision. And I tell Frank, I'm like, hey, bro, like, so then we did Mr. Nova and whatnot. I'm real into space and shit like that anyways. I mean, that's really...
Well, that's what 2026 is.
It's
like a retro future concept.
You feel me? So then we did that whole, like, Frank did a whole Instagram, what's it called?
Just grid.
Instagram grid, like, montage, collage type of ordeal for me or whatnot. And then, so past that, so then I do Lazy and Selfish. I was real into green, and that's just kind of what it's. I mean, I'm wearing a green cap right now,
dude.
And the green.
And we got a green screen right behind us.
So like Frank, I was like, hey Frank, like I'm just mad at the green, and also like with the 2026 style of just like crunching up paper and shit like that.
Yeah.
It comes from two places. Frank was experimenting with a scanner like a motherfucker, just doing like really dope shit with just like old like Russian like textbooks and some shit.
Russian magazines.
And just like morphing these images, but like analog style of just like literally like not using Photoshop, and just was like, all right, cool. What can I make with like damn near my hands and like just like print? You know what I mean? So or scanner. So he was doing that, and then my producer Will Roberts, aka Bonds, who does a lot of my music. Gamble remix coming soon with Acknowledge and my boy Platinum.
Dang.
So
Acknowledge is never mind.
Yeah, little Elijah, my young boy.
Platinum, come on, boy.
Yeah, but I was Will had said something about you. He's like, hey man, you got nice handwriting. Like you should show people more of that. So then Frank was like, all right, cool. Like, so I was like, hey Frank, I want to start writing stuff out. So like, I put out 2 singles, Waste Your Time and My Love, which are up on my SoundCloud. Search it down on SoundCloud. And I'm just plugging myself.
Just do it. Just do it.
Go. Writing on stuff before that though.
But when it comes official, you know what I mean? It became like the official, like, okay, bet. Like we never say like this is what we're gonna do. It just kind of becomes like all right, we'll just keep doing it because it looks cool and people fuck with it as well. So then I remember like those first things, like people were like, damn man, y'all, like I had like I had archived my whole grid from the Mr. Nova thing, and I was like, all right, cool, I'm starting anew. And the first thing I posted was just like a green, like warped image of myself that Frank with the scanner or whatnot, he like messed with, and I was like, hey bro, I really want to mess with like green or whatnot, and it just kind of goes from there. So I don't know where I was coming with this, but I'm just saying like.
Well, yeah, I think it's important to like as an artist and art director. When you're working with somebody,
to have a vision. That's what I was saying. It's about having a vision.
It's about. There you go. It's about like okay, it has to be a collaboration, a joint effort, into where we're going with the idea. Because like, no matter what, like if I don't know you at all, I don't know your aesthetic, I don't know what you like. And like, it's a lot easier for me to like to work with somebody when you know like if you see where their path is. But if you have no path at all and you're just like, man,
make me some fire,
then I'm really
it stresses you out. I feel like it stresses you out.
I mean, piss him off. He's like, come on, bro. Like, what did you expect?
Well, and then you give him, him one product, and like then you need like 20 different changes. So like it might completely, and then you're like, all right, I don't even feel like working on this anymore, because if we're just gonna keep on like going back and forth, and you're not happy with what you get, then
there was nothing I could have did in the first place.
Ouch.
Now, I want to ask you something. How was your TED Talk?
So, a lot of people don't, so I'm telling us off the record, I hosted that TED Talk.
Okay, cool. So you didn't do the TED Talk?
No, I hosted so that project
Does
was...
Be off the record?
No, it can be on the record.
Okay.
He did it off the record.
No. What the thing about it was, I had because Bellamy University is a great place, and I was seeing all these freaking TED Talks popping up in like 2014, 2015, and I'm like, where's our TED Talk? And then everybody was just like, ooh. I was like, okay, let's make a TED Talk. And so I went before Ed Manassa. He's like the guy, I call him the money man, but he was the guy that ran
Big
the
money man.
He, alongside Dr. Needham, ran the comm department. And he, he's a mentor to Dr. Needham, and he's a mentor to me. So I came to him with this idea. I'm like, yo, we should have a TED Talk. This is why. I gave him all the blips. I put the professionalism on it, presentation, all that stuff. I gave it. And he's just like, I need something more. I was like, bruh. And so our professor Sean and some other students kept working at it for like a year, and then they finally said yes. And so I was like, yo, dope.
Is this the TED Talk people or are you?
Yeah, this is the TED Talk team. This is the TEDx core team that I work with to get this off the ground.
Cool.
And so along with me and the art department, I was like, look, I want to make... I wrote out aesthetically how I wanted this thing to look.
Yeah. Because
it was very important, because if you capture the right TEDx aesthetic... And this is when I got back from New York. I was like, okay, I gotta get better at like...
You wanted things to look legit.
Yeah, because if it looked professional and looked well done...
People are gonna take it serious.
Yeah, people are gonna take it seriously.
Yeah.
Like, that's the thing. The TED Talks can be not well.
I mean, we can have a TED Talk outside right now
Boom.
type thing.
Yeah, all you for real need is a red dot and a TV monitor and a camera, and that's it. But it's all about how minimal you're willing to go. And so I was like, look, I want this, this, and this. Black box is a great part. Okay, what about this? We had a great team of people that asked questions and got stuff done in a timely manner as well. Like, I helped build those letters. Like,
that was like a big thing for you. Tell me about that.
Yeah, I got the wood for it. I helped design it. I got an expert craftsman, Steve. He's awesome. And
shout out Steve.
And we helped build it. I made the letters for the white part. My professor went on Illustrators, like, here, I just make this. Quincy, go cut it out. I was like, okay, bam. Going to First Build. Shout out First Build. Making stuff.
First Build, man.
Yeah, went on their laser
Big
cutter.
ups to GE.
Exactly.
And UofL.
Come on. And I went on the First Build, cut out the letters, brought them back to the stuff, got the lights for it, and it was just like, boom. It was all built together, and like, that was my first...
I remember that was like really important to you.
Dude, it was like my first time artistic direction.
Yeah, man.
I had some other projects too with Henry that I led. And
shout out Henry Kearns.
Boy. The Hank.
Man's moving
Big
to
man.
Boston to work for Reebok soon.
Hey, yeah. And
not
so...
with Beyonce, though.
Hey, it's all good. But yeah, and I've been working with him. I got him hooked on the fashion show. I like, yo, get plugged in. This is the person you need to be.
Yeah, it's crazy because when you were talking about the fashion show, I had no clue like how the logistically how it works. Because like, I'm assuming, fashion show, I don't know if you make one piece, 10 pieces, like
you can make as many pieces you want.
Well, see, I had no clue, like, on
dude, I was so mad. I was like, frick.
Well, I have so much going on that, like,
I know,
like if I was making a dress too, like, because I was like pushed to do a international film festival in Morocco that I would have left right out of school at the same time, and I was like, oh man, I can't even do like. So, and then we opened the bar, like,
we're making too many.
Like, so many things. I'm like, yo, we need to calm down. You gotta stack your plates right, so if you can't drop all your plates at once and like everything break. And like, we got a lot of eggs and a lot of baskets, so we don't want those eggs breaking. So we're trying to have chicken. We're trying to have KFC later.
Oh,
chill.
Hey, what we need is that bread.
Hey, well, and the bread goes. You get your biscuits with your chicken.
Eggs. That's what I'm talking about. KFC. Shout out KFC.
Else, right?
But no, I think you have an excellent point. I was just like, look, and stuff has just been popping off for me. Ever since like 2017.
Be out here, man.
And I think, I don't know, like, I got this one producer named Rudy. Shout out Rudy.
Oh,
and I'm like, yo, I might have to release a single, soon. I don't know.
I'm not mad at that, bro.
Right.
But the battery pack is low. I'm gonna go switch out a battery.
Okay, sure. Back. So I mean, we can cut this part out, or we can
we can just pause. Y'all can keep going. I still got the camera going, so we got.
All right, cool.
Let's plug in.
But Yeah, so for me personally, just being around creatives, just being around you and Frank, and then other people, and just continue to be out. I wasn't even doing nothing when I met you and Frank, for real.
Which I met you through Frank.
Yeah.
But I had seen you for a long time. You know what it is?
Exactly.
What year did you come to U of L?
So I remember
So no, you were never at U of L, were you?
But I was in the music. I was in the band. So I've been in U of L ever since 2012.
Okay, cool. I came to U of L in 2012, was here for the national championship, was only here for a year. And so
Oh wow.
Yeah, crazy enough. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I'm gonna tell you something. The Magic Man was here, and that's when we did well in all sports. So
here's some results from the web.
That is my phone right now. I apologize.
It's okay. Yeah. No, you good.
I might have said just like. But yeah, so honestly, being a U of L student, being a black U of L student, you remember you remember everybody who's black. So I would always see.
It's so true.
Crazy. Like I remember seeing Roger and stuff, and I remember Frank being like, "Yo, man, I'm meeting with this kid Roger. I know who he was," and then he ended up being like a band student. And in the music program,
Dude,
I was like, all right,
those band kids, bro. Let me tell you, we blowing up. We low key.
Crazy enough, my brother.
I got it. I got it. All right.
The process, bro.
All right. You gotta keep the process going. But
Yeah, so I remember seeing you around campus just because you were like. I mean, this is I guess it's a PWI, predominantly white institution, essentially. You know what I mean? But, it's not. It's
yeah,
like, you know what I mean?
I mean, that's anywhere in Kentucky, honestly.
So
except for West End.
I mean,
in West End.
Yeah, what's West End?
The West End of Louisville.
Oh, I thought you were talking about universities in Kentucky.
No.
But yeah, so that's what
we have an HBCU around Old Louisville. No, Old Louisville too. There's like Old Brooks or.
I know you're talking about. That's the one. Yeah, but so I've always seen you around and whatnot. So
and here's the thing, like that's the thing. Once I started hanging with certain people, you know, I started getting more into my creative like ideas. You know, once I started hanging out with Henry, he started to get more creative, and he started to do. We both started to do more. Henry's always been creative since like day one when he was popped out of his mama's womb.
Whoa, yeah.
But but and I think with me, I amplified it because I was like, yo, Henry, let's get you some projects to do. And he's already like super busy, but like the stuff we did and like the places we've been and like the people we've met, like me and Roger, Henry, you two, it's just like, I just can't wait for the future because I know like you can't not be around these people and not do something. And nothing happens.
And I say the same thing about him or whatnot. People like, I don't know who Frank looks to because I'm like I look to him when I'm like I look to him. There's people. My boy, shout out my boy James Welford. I just got off the phone with my boy Taylor again.
Yeah, I was trying to bring James down here.
Yeah, he's.
I want to meet him. I feel like I haven't.
Y'all would. You said Rustic in Kentucky.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I mean,
I heard James Welford come up. So I mean, Frank's a person who I look to all the time. And then just like little conversations that I may have with Alex, owner of Satin Vines.
Yeah.
Just different people. Or my old manager, Bradley, who's part owner of Galaxy Bar. Just people like that who are like, you know, I'm just like, hey, like, cause I told Brad, I was like, yeah, we're doing this thing with Barrel Bar. He's like, hey, just let me know if you need anything as far as just like, you know, like advice and stuff, you know, cause Galaxy Bar is a successful bar that has a regular customer core. You know what I mean?
Dude,
that goes
if you on market, you blowing up. Which I'm proud that you guys are you on market or me?
We're at Jefferson.
Jefferson?
We're one block away.
Also, yeah. I'll say one thing. Shout out to Thor. Shout out to Doug. Shout out to Brad and all those guys who are with Market and Market with Galaxy and Ride, two bar/restaurants on East Market in Louisville, Kentucky. Ride was one of the first places to go to Market. Mm-hmm. So this was
as
before.
A restaurant.
This was before Market is what new. This was before.
I mean, and it's right on the edge of that. It's not. It might not. It might be more considered Phoenix Hill type thing.
But even still, it's still an area where like you can walk past and whatnot. And like, okay, cool. They were down there before all that stuff happened, and it just happened. I remember like talking to Dory. He's like, "Yeah, man, like, you almost kind of like working with luck at that point."
We actually like me and this was probably when we were 16. After the gallery hop, like I remember ended up being at Ride, like being at some functions there before back then. And this is 2010, 2009. I mean, there used to be a group of us that would go on like these bike rides all around the city. Like there was a core like
Colin Fiend, because he used to fucking.
There was like 50. There was like 50 kids that on Tuesdays would always get together and just bike the whole city. Yeah. And it was called like Get Tight Tuesday. It was a really.
Never did that shit.
But like it was a fun.
That sounds cool. I feel like
it's almost like Louisville Run Club before that.
Shout out James Lindsay.
Because it was totally like not about fitness. It was just about having fun. We would just get drunk on the rides and like get lit. Like
smart, but
hey, it was hipster as fuck. Kids.
A lot of years.
Like Louisville is about that. Is one of the hippest cities in the country.
And here's the thing, and that's why I said, graduate from Louisville, give something back. You know what I'm saying? The city's not lame. It's just because you are, and you're not doing anything to promote.
Hey, boy.
That's what I'm just like. Let me tell you again, Louisville. Let me tell you again. If you think this place is lame, it's because you're not adding to the culture, and you're off the backs of people that are. And, so you need to get out of your house and go make some friends. All right? Because this city is pretty lit.
And I'll say one thing. So me and Frank, we had after literally shout out to Jack Harlow because he let us have his after party for his waterfront show that sold out. You know what I mean? And it was probably our biggest party yet. We've been open. This was week 6, and so there was a little things that we could have did better or whatnot. And I realized that. And me coming from, I worked at a bank for 9 months. I worked at a bar for about 1.5 years now.
Oh, come on.
Me coming from the financial and the bartending background, I was like, there's little things that we need to do now, and that I want to have meetings with the people who we're working with, as far as the owners of the bar who are letting us kind of just like run this show.
They're ready to let us do. They want us to facilitate the whole. Like they want us to book acts there and a lot of other things, but like we're ready to do that when the time is right and where we can plan and figure out budgets and like so say, if they come at us with like, all right, your budget for like we're probably gonna work this out, but say your budget for July is $4,000 for events for the whole month of July. What acts can you book? This, and that. And we can actually plan and facilitate a plan that actually makes sense. And we really just need to be like, hey, this month, how much money do we have to work with? And what are we going to do with it? And like, get things jumping to where we can actually like put money aside for advertisements, how we're going to throw things, like, get things jumping. Because like, that's how you do it correctly. You come at it with a full plan. Yeah. And we really just we just dove right into this game of like.
I'll say something. We got lucky though because we're dealing with people who are not necessarily like. They've never done.
It still is Louisville.
We've never done this before,
and
so
that's
it's brand new. So we're getting a chance to basically have a soft open and almost just scrimmage right now.
Yeah, that's good.
And we kind of got our ass kicked the first, first few scrimmage and whatnot. But now I'm just like, I bet. Like I look at everything from like a bad.
But we every feedback I haven't heard like actually like besides
this is a
like
shitty bar.
I haven't heard anything like that. I've heard like okay, I couldn't get in, which is never bad.
It was fat as a mom.
Or like the first like week or two, the drinks were too expensive. We fixed that, and like we're about to have cocktail menus on there soon. So like everything is a work in progress.
I appreciate that. I remember like that you guys were talking about that, and then you fixed it. I was like, they listen.
I mean, bro, because we don't know what we're doing. We know we have an idea what we want to do.
We know what we're going to get.
The whole thing,
and we know where we're going to get, the point we're going, and we got to take. I mean, you gotta listen to your customer that's out here, and like the
customer's mostly is sometimes right. I'm gonna tell you something. I hate that the customer's always right because they're not, But I'll say something else going back to what you say about just like doing something for Louisville. So I've been in the crib all day, and I'm like, man, I'm talking to my boy James Wolford again, and I'm like, man, he's like Dominic, you know what you're doing. I'm like, I do. I just need to step up because Frank's been talking to them for the most part. I'm like, let me go ahead and let me text, hey Ginger. So it's Derby week. So
I mean, you can take more. I mean, you may take more of the managerial role because like.
And I didn't want to at first because we thought we had a guy who could do that. And like, not saying that he can't. I'm being positive right now, political because we're on camera. Yeah. But still, I think it's just like my thing is like there's.
But if you want to build young energy.
You gotta work with somebody who.
You gotta build young energy is built from young
Frank,
energy.
How old are you?
I'm 26.
Same how old are you? 26? I'm 24. I'm 93. 25.
I'm
94.
92.
94, baby.
So, and that's the thing about it. And also the thing with me and Frank
we know what we like.
And also, but we're around young people all the time. And like being an artist and a creative.
We keep a young circle for sure of other creators that are always.
I love at his art show.
We keep an old circle too.
His art show,
bro, had the most. Bro,
he had everybody. Everybody came for Frank.
Yeah, you feel me? That's what I tell people.
All the minorities were with Frank.
Hey,
that was so funny.
And that's what I say with what we doing, what Frank does, what I do. When you see who comes out, it may not be the masses at first, but it's almost like we were talking about the other day. It's not like necessarily gatekeepers, but it's all the people that people think are cool. Like, oh, they're so cool. Oh yeah, that's the homie, man.
And I've been calling myself a curator of 2026, a curator / director or whatever. And that's what I like. That's usually what I'm talking about. Like because like curation is not only just art. Mm-hmm. It's because most of these art galleries, they're not curating art at all. They're curating the people they want to be.
They're getting the right artists.
Well, they're getting. I'm saying they're curating for their audience is, right? So like a curator doesn't necessarily work for the artist or whatever. They're working for the audience. Yeah. And we're curating the audience, which is ours.
Yeah, and that's what I like. That's what I liked about both of you, but for you, Frank, especially, it's just like. And Dom too, they're bringing out key people that I've seen turn up every time, and then what I'm saying, I love what you're doing with Pretty Girls Play Trap, giving Kay and
that just gave me a great idea.
Well,
just giving people shots.
The thing is, like we know people who are like with them originally. Like it's like you don't see a lot of women who are DJing around this city. At least.
No. Not a lot.
And now there's the spinsters. There's the spinsters union, and honestly, we probably have the most female DJs in the city of any city now, like developing. Excuse me.
I don't know.
I don't know the stats, but like
I don't know.
Comparatively, I go somewhere else and I'll only see guys behind the table.
But women like seeing other women doing it's representation, and that's one thing. So like last year we had linked with Kayla and Roya.
And Roya had already started DJing, and then Kayla wanted to, and she kept asking another guy for like lessons, and we were like, why don't you just do it with us and go ahead and jump into it.
And we went over one Friday, and we just like,
I remember when they started.
This is what it is.
It was cold.
It was exactly.
No, the first. You remember that first party, bro? It was fat.
His size?
Birthday.
Was it size? Yeah, that's low key. When I started knowing him, I was like, "Dang, you got girls playing DJ.
Man, like
everybody's fat."
The thing with it was like
he was so cool.
Kayla like listened to cool music, but she listened to like a lot of female artists that me and Frank wouldn't come around to. Essentially, we just didn't. I'm just like female rappers and stuff like that. I'm just like you're playing like different stuff that like I'm not hearing or whatnot. Yeah. But then you get these girls hype. Like now I know to play City Girls and stuff like that or whatnot. Yeah. But like sometimes there's different girl anthems that girls are fucking with, and I'm just like, oh shit, I had no clue about.
Single ladies is low key getting old. I'm like, come on, man.
You feel me? So
I love Beyonce, but I'm like, come on.
We do not
Y'all don't
speak
want
negative about to be happy.
But
I love Beyonce. I don't want the high five to me.
I haven't even heard single ladies in a long time. I thought it.
I've been to a lot of weddings.
Okay, come on, bro. You're hearing too.
Yeah,
true.
So like that was the whole thing. I was like, so we went over there. I had my buddy's DJ controller all year last year. Yeah, we just went over and just like talked.
We haven't
not necessarily talked, but just was like showing him like, hey, this is what we because I haven't been DJing that long.
And it's crazy because honestly, like if you have somebody that has a DJ controller and they're not using it. Ask them to use it because we used that controller for what 8 months?
No, a year.
Almost a year. Yeah,
a whole year. Yeah, I got it January like 3rd or something. Gave it back on my birthday. My birthday's December 31st.
Yeah, so we used somebody else's equipment for a whole year.
We made bread last year.
And just started, and that's where we started. Like you don't necessarily like.
That's what you call
profit. So many DJs. Like oh, I need to buy stuff. But so many people, so many businessmen, like they do stuff. They buy it to play around. They don't use it all anymore after the first week, and it's just a toy sitting in their crib. So if you know somebody,
dude, the reason why my little brother's DJing now because Frank he got there earlier than he got to one of Frank's events earlier than I
just told him I let him hop on, and now he
bought it. I do not have a controller
like the next week.
Frank has one. Stefan has one. I'm just out here. I use one of theirs. I use theirs. So
you're killing me, dog.
So I'm saying, like, dude, I bought a Go-Yard wallet before I bought a fucking controller. I'm telling you.
You gotta do that sometime. You gotta let him know.
Yo, you feel me?
You gotta let him know.
Most time I DJ with him anyway. So it's like, I buy my own. We won't speak on that because I don't want him to.
So real quick, I wanted to ask both of you. Like, what is your objective? Like, what is what is 2026? Frank, Dom, Know Nothing. What is the height? What do you want to be?
I mean, each thing has its own different objective of where the end goal is.
It's all separate for. I mean, because Nothing's in Malachi, so that's.
Know Nothing is separate. I mean, personally, I have my own where I want to be in my art career. Where eventually, if I ever get back into making music, where I want to be in my music career.
Man, it's always talking about the return.
Where I want to be in fact, everything has its own path that will intertwine like DNA, because it all is together. Like how everything works and how everything bounces off of each other and develops and is all a work in progress into an ultimate end goal of just being a great contemporary Renaissance artist.
And going off what he's saying, I think that's my biggest thing too, is just being a Renaissance type artist. I mean, being around him, there was a minute where I was just a rapper, but I couldn't find beats, so I became a producer. There was a time where me and Frank wanted to have events officially, because he's been throwing events at his church for years. But I was like, let's get official about it. Let's do this. I was like, man, I'm gonna pick up DJing. His brother was like, yeah, Dom, he said you figure that out in a few hours. And I was like, for real? Got on it just like that or whatnot. Frank had already been kind of messing with it anyway, so it wasn't anything for him to get to it. And then just recently, Frank's been busy as a lot of stuff that I'm learning is out of convenience because somebody can't do it for me at the time. So I'm just like, all right, whatever. He's just like, bro, you can do this shit. So now I'm trying to get more into literally editing my own videos for if it's vlogs, if it's the fucking podcast, shit like that. Yeah. The reason I got into that is because Frank's been busy with his art show, he's been busy playing the Barrel Bar, and then just being his own fucking self. You know what I mean? Yeah. So he was so I did a show at the Palace. Shout out to the Louisville Palace, open for Amina.
You know what I'm saying?
Slight work and
slight flex.
So
slight flex.
So I had
flex, but okay.
You feel me? But I had opened. We had shot a vlog. I had my little homie. Shout out to Luke Hans. He shot the whole thing for me.
Yeah.
And so I was like, all right, Frank, I want you to edit it. But I knew he wouldn't have any time to. He had been busy as.
My art show is opening that next week.
And then he's got finals. Man, this is graduating. You know what I mean? So just all type of stuff. I was like, man, all right. So basically, what had happened was I was like, all right, cool. I'll get in here. I came in here so I could get his help.
Which it's funny. It's not open in the summer, but the Digital Media Suite is a public. I mean, the University of Louisville is a public space.
Nice.
So anybody that is creative that wants to use Adobe programs
and don't want to pay for it,
doesn't want to pay for it, can come in here on campus during their hours. And I think they're planning on remodeling it and making some computers that are out here for the general use that will be open till 2 a.m. Whenever this side is open all day. So soon enough there'll be a space that you can always come and work on stuff.
Nice.
But during the hours there'll be a tutor in here that can help you. But if you want to learn how to do it, it's always best to play around and do it yourself and learn on your own. Have fun with it.
Learn and have fun.
Because no matter what, you can look at YouTube tutorials and figure out what you want to do with those. But at the end of the day, you're going to develop somebody else's aesthetic and not learn from your own self. And it's really key to me. To how I've developed as an artist is to basically have fun and, exist and create and learn by doing. And then.
But
you're good.
But what I was saying about the video stuff is, so originally we had I wanted to do a performance vlog because I was performing at the Palace. I was like, dude, that's a big moment,
Dude, I saw that on Instagram. I'm so mad I didn't go. I'm so sorry.
It's all good, but it was awesome.
Hit us up next time when we have a show like that, because last minute we had a list.
We could have a list. I just didn't know he would hit up. I hit up my friends. And
we had
dude, I was like, man, I bet I could go backstage and just hype. Oh my
God. Minute, we have no clue who to invite.
I had everybody in the crowd put their cell phone lights up, bro.
I saw that on Instagram. Life, it was a beautiful moment, and I'm glad you captured it.
It was actually, dude, it was crazy because at first my brother, he was saying it's crazy, dude, getting on stage, that's just, I remember my first performance was Ramstock. It's my
alma mater.
In high school, we had this thing, our
Battle of the Bands.
Yeah, it was just I don't know. It was like a homecoming performance thing. Yeah. And I
rival
did it.
Game performance.
And I remember just how nervous I was, but I remember going up there and being like, all right, cool, I can do this. And then me and Frank, we would have our own shows.
I forget that you did that.
Yeah. That was the first time I performed. So then me and Frank, we would throw shows in high school and whatnot. And then so gradually, and for a minute, like last year towards the end of the year, I was DJing more than I was performing. So I was like, man, I don't know. I feel like I had lost it. I feel like I got better by not performing that much towards the end of the year because I was just like, when I got back up there, I wasn't necessarily like practicing almost. Like I just been kind of more like water. And the first performance that happened was I opened up for Taylor Bennett for Louisville, for University of Louisville, whatnot. And I remember just going up there, and Frankie gave me some notes on the time that I opened up for another artist in the Mercury Ballroom, Joaquin Lucci. He was like, "Oh, bro, you should have jumped in the." He said you should have jumped in the crowd, bro. Like when you was getting hyped.
Because they were hyped. I mean, the crowd was hyped at Joaquin Lucci, and there was only like maybe 45, 50 people out there. But
it was that one was like.
But I'm saying like close.
Yeah.
Like there was like 50 people like close that were like actually vibing.
Yeah.
And it was, which I mean, there's still people everywhere else, but it was like the very first act of this like stack lineup of like 8 probably acts after.
It started like 6 and then like 11.
And which we were the only listed opener, so we had no clue that it was gonna be.
So I remember Frankie gave me notes. Then he was like, "Yo, you should have did this." I was like, "All right, bet." So
it's like somebody definitely feels a lot more connected to artists when they just touch their hand.
You feel me? So
like,
then
it's just like, oh man, I touched your hand one time, like, and now you're viewed, like, and then you can like reference that moment of like, yo, that happened.
So building memories.
So then I did that for Taylor Bennett. So fast forward, I did that at Joaquin Lucci. So fast forward, Taylor Bennett show. I'm performing, I'm making jokes, I'm being goofy, I'm just like legitimately being the most me I've ever been in performances. Now, granted, we did a lot of performances at Summer too, but I always feel like I would have like, I'd be like, okay, talk about this, blah, 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 blah. Yeah. This time I didn't even rehearse, honestly. I know these songs. I'm like, man, I don't feel like rehearsing the same song. So I went up there and just kind of like free. So I'm like, all right, cool. Like, how y'all doing? Joking on our football team because we were terrible. We were terrible this past season. Like, I said, how about those cards? And just start laughing. But then like I'm realizing the more and more I'm performing and just like, and I rehearse still, but like the more and more I kind of go up there without like kind of a set agenda of what I should do. Yeah. I'm killing it now. You know what I mean? So I remember the Palace, like at first my brother was like, I said, everybody put your cell phone lights up for this moment. And at first it was like 1 or 2 people, and Stephon was like, bro, I thought they weren't gonna put it up. And then you see the whole room light up, and I see my DJ who is very obscure. Shout out to Black Matter. That's what he got mad at me because I called him his real name, Black Matter. I love you, Jesse. But he got mad at me. No, he got mad at me. But he has his taste of stuff. Very like he's not impressed by a lot of stuff. And when I saw him put his cell phone up, he's getting it for his Instagram story. I'm like, dude, I'm doing something cool right now. Yeah. Shout out my boy. Shout out Bonds, aka Will. He's having a child soon, and I was like, yo, everybody, it'll be baby boy. He'll be born like within this next month or so. His name will be Liam. I was like, hey, everybody. I said, my guitarist, he's having a baby. Everybody, shout out, what's up, Liam? I got that on video too. I'll put that up on Instagram whenever he's born. You feel me? But still, you know what I mean? Just like little stuff that I'm doing. I'm like, man, one thing I realized is, for the longest, I wouldn't really embrace my personality on stage. And I remember like Will would be like, hey, Dominic, keep dancing. Like when you dance and stuff, like even if they looking at you crazy, just keep doing it. And then like I remember from Palace, I was doing everything. I would look on my Instagram, I'm getting like 40 to 50 new followers just that night. You know, and I'm like, dang man, just like up there being goofy me, making people laugh. Honestly, I may do comedy at some point. Cause like, no.
I mean,
straight up, you never know, bro. Like, I don't know.
I mean, might as well at this point.
You never know, cause honestly, like the only weird thing with me is like not performing.
I mean, look, Will Smith just finally did a stand-up performance and like
at some point, like
and for the first time, like a month or so ago on his like little Facebook show.
His
so, like,
first official comedy
his first comedy show ever, and like we know like he's a funny dude, but. I guess we called him a comedian, but he's always been an actor. I don't know if I ever called him a comedian. I don't know if people.
But he almost kind of, because
he was always funny.
Because he came out with a show during when all the comedians were coming. There was Martin's show. There was Jamie Foxx. There was Steve Harvey's show.
But it was
you know what I mean?
And he came, but before that he was just a rapper. So like he started as a rapper, went to the Grand.
Rap opened so many doors.
Well, like he got the music deal. He did well. Then he spent all his money, lost his money, and then he did the. Like left and went to LA and became an actor because he wasn't like he had his career then he went back.
Shout out Quincy Jones.
Quincy Jones set that up.
Hey man,
the story.
Everybody,
crazy.
When I say my knowns, that's what people instantly know. I got a lot of shoes to fill. And then Quincy John Adams. Yeah. 6th president of the United States. But anyway.
Hey, shout out to that.
Hey, shout out the presidency.
Shout out everything, bro.
So, No, yeah. I just like.
So, should we get back to the objective thing, or?
Yeah, I mean. Well,
so. Yeah. 2026. Sure. You want to start with that?
Yeah. Let's start out with 2026.
All right. 2026 concept, like the whole like story behind it. It was like 2016, and I had a whole concept, like, you know, there's the movies that you watch. Yeah. And we've been watching them since the 90s. Yeah. And then and they always have this idea of the future, or, you know, around like where we are right now, or even like a little bit further in like the 2020s or 30s or whatever. Yeah. And so the whole idea of this, like, I told Chad Hugo and Shay Haley in 2008, I was like, yo, 10 years from now, I'm going to be doing this with y'all. You're going to be like, Shay, we're going to be best friends, blah, blah, blah. Like, you know, just having a good time with, like, these mega legends. Yeah. And like, so the idea kind of came, because, like, you know, they're the Neptunes, and I kind of wanted 2026 to be its own new interpretation of the Neptunes as a creative collective, a Star Trek definitive kind of how, you know. Okay. And so that's kind of where that came from. I mean, it's definitely like, and then, you know, more ideas that came into the play on like what 2026 is and how we operate. And like recently I've been doing the 101, thrifting clothes and printing, you know, new things on old clothes, and, you know, sustainability. And
which is an idea he's had for a while.
And yeah, I've had that idea for a while. I mean, I've done that with Know Nothing before on the backs of
the
flannels and whatnot. But just like, you know, recycling, and I mean, I used to be like a huge, I mean, as a little kid, I was probably the most liberal little kid you've ever met.
Hey, on real talk,
I like protested Afghanistan.
The reason I don't litter is because of Frank, bro. One time I was just a little ghetto Shavely boy from Dixie Highway. Come on. And I remember I like threw some shit on the ground. Frank was like, he was like 15,
but
16.
But we were
like,
Louisville. I was like, why would you throw
bro?
shit on our block? Like, you know, and I was like,
yeah. Offended. I ain't littered since, honestly, to think about it.
And so, you know, that has always been really important to me. I mean, even as a 12-year-old, I was designing concepts and ideas of like solar panels in cars that would like charge the grid, and little things like that. So I was like, you know, I was always designing inventions or whatever, and I actually made that like actual thing, and I was like, you know, but technology catches up eventually. I mean, this is, you know, 2003 compared to now, like, woo! So, or yeah, 2004, 2005, and so like, you know, ideas eventually catch up to like the young youthful mind, but like, yeah, I mean, I was there doing that same stuff, but like, you know, those ideas of sustainability and like recycling and things you can actually do for the environment, like, have always been really important to me, because like your surroundings. I mean,
but like easy shit. Like, easy shit. Cool, yeah. Like vintage is like cool now, but then he's also like printing on it, so it even makes it even more cool. Yeah. So it doesn't even feel like you're like doing some task of like eating your vegetables or something like that. You're just like literally wearing cool shit.
And it's definitely not, and that's also not a gimmick or anything at all. It's giving somebody something new and unique that, like, you know.
It's like you're already paying $30 for a t-shirt.
Might as well make it look good.
You know what I mean? Why not just put like what I want on there? You know, so.
But you know. Okay, yeah, sorry, continue. 2026, okay.
So, I mean, basically, we are trying to place ourselves in the future we want to be in by then now.
Okay, that's dope.
And that's just where, you know, we're setting our goals and trying to achieve this fact, like, the fact of where we are 10 years from now, we are there now already. And then, by then, you know, how far ahead can we get before 2020? You know, it's just basically a 10-year plan without ever saying that it is.
Okay. No, I can vibe with that. Excuse me. Now, Dom D, you know, what is your main objective? I mean, here's the thing. I feel like as far as like a local artist, you have gone further than most. You know what I'm saying? You're 26 now. You've performed at the Palace. You know, you performed at the Moki Ballroom.
But I think my objective now is to have a show of my own at the Palace, and to have a show of my own at Murphy Ballroom, and to have people just like genuinely be excited when I
like you won't be
put out stuff. Yeah. I mean, as much as I love being an opener,
you want to be headline.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So like I remember the day before, like a few days before, my buddy, I keep saying Will Bonds. He was like, yo, you ain't excited to play Palace? I'm like, I am. I was like, I just wanted it to be my show too. And when I performed, it felt like my when I did it, I was like, it felt like mine, and like people still, dude, fucking I was at the waterfront for Jack's show, and I'm walking with my buddy James and his girlfriend and my friend Abby, and some kid comes to me, he's like, yo, 2026, and he's like, yo, bro, I saw you at the Palace, bro, like, you killed that, and he knew one of my little homies, Platinum, aka Justin, aka Platinum. But it was just cool. I was like, yeah, thanks, man. I've been noticing, like, the more I've been doing opening shows and stuff like that, and just, like, trying to curate my Instagram to, for the likings of,
match
like, whatever. Just, like, kids, like, still comment. Like, even the other day, like, somebody wrote on our picture. He's like, yo, bro, I saw you at the Palace. Even I'm getting, like, maybe 110 likes on a photo. Kids like, yo, I saw you at the Palace, bro. You killed that. And he's a young kid. I'm like, yo, cool. And he's, like, a young artist and stuff like that. So I think my main objective right now is to build a fan base, keep doing what I'm doing as far as, like, making music, making content, and being the cool person I am, and just embracing who I am all the time. You know what I mean? Like, not trying to just, like, be on some, like, for the longest I felt like I was trying to be, like, I don't know, like, just not trying to accept the good parts of me, but trying to accept the good parts of somebody else and embrace that on me.
Okay.
So I think now it's just, like, me just, like, being mentally with myself all the time, so that it reflects in my art. It reflects when I perform. It reflects when we do videos, and it reflects when I'm talking about my stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then also just, like, man, I love talking to people, and I just love talking to people about what they want to do and inspiring them to do something, and being like, hey, like, last year me and Frank started DJing officially, and now we get to, like, kind of curate what happens at this bar and this venue.
And,
you know what I mean?
And we take every little lesson that, like, I've learned, that Dominique's learned, just from, like, you know, every interview that he watches, every, like,
I watch
every little physical, like, every, like, little thing that I've gone through on my path to getting where I am now.
Yeah.
And, like, just even, like, how some, like, very, you know, like Pharrell, how he was moving in the 2000s, and just how things were going down, and just observing, watching, learning, and, like, at the same time, not just sitting there and, like, not doing anything, but already trying to do those same things that he was doing then, and just building and learning on top of those things from there.
Dude, he's such, like, I mean, as far as, like,
and it's crazy because he just threw his first, like, festival, like his own festival, Something in the Water, like this last weekend. Every other artist has already done that, but he took his time on how to come and, like, get it exactly how he wanted.
Brought it
with, like, Cause, Jay-Z, like, he brought every single, like, he put it all together. Like, I mean, he could have did that, like, 10 years ago.
He could have,
but he, like,
when he was like, he could have did it 15, 20 years ago.
But, like, he, you know, he took his time and, like, you know, stacked his, you know, put his eggs in whatever basket he wanted, and put together, like, maybe the greatest festival that's happened in a while. Like, I don't know.
I think what to me, what I believe is what's happening is just, like, artists want more creative control, and, like, somebody has to wait.
Like,
I mean, that's always been the main objective.
But it's like, why would you go perform at somebody else's festival when you could throw a festival in your hometown?
Shout out Tyler, the Creator, for doing that,
dude.
And,
like, that's incredible.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, what he did at a young age to be like how he was.
He saw that the festival market was popping. He took it,
and he already lived in LA.
He flipped it, you know, and he,
you know what I mean?
And he created his own thing and was like, all right, instead of everybody else getting checks, I'm getting my own check. And now,
so let me get a double check.
Now Post Malone has his own festival. Travis Scott has his own festival. All these other artists are, like, probably quadrupling their investments on, like, investing in themselves. And so you take that same lesson of investing in yourself and keep doing the same thing. Like, I mean, we might have a festival in 2 years.
I mean, we did something for Oaks last year where we
I mean, we're keep on trying to, but, like, we want to get to that level of this, you know, where we're at.
And even, like, when Frank books an artist's father, and it's under the 2026 umbrella, and then I open. So then I'm saying, oh yeah, I open for Father, but also
I'll produce the show.
Exactly. So, like, the team essentially books the show, but it says, oh yeah, Dominique's opening for Father.
Well, that's the crazy thing. That's the thing that I like about how you guys spend your time managing your bread. And what you're saying is, like, here, we'll put ourselves on and we'll bring somebody else. It's honestly, bro, I feel like you guys are already making your own festivals by making your own concerts.
In a small way.
In a very, very small way.
I mean, it's definitely a goal. I mean, all the people that we've worked with over the years, I mean, you know, we're going to keep on building to this eventual, like, big climax.
But just like what Frank says about with Pharrell, Just wait.
Just wait.
Till it's the perfect time.
Because I mean, at some point, all the artists that I've worked with over the years, there's gonna be a point where everybody in their career is gonna be like, all right, what am I doing now? And I'm like, let me call them up and get them on this festival. They're just chilling. Like, we can call up this person, that person, and be like, all right, let's have this fun time with people we all enjoy. Because everything doesn't last anymore to where, like, you know, things wear out, but people still enjoy nostalgic things.
Yeah.
I mean, look at the Millennium Tour with Lloyd and Bobby Valentino and like, you know, like those acts
hilarious.
and other things will always exist for a while, that we're so like obsessed with the current moment that we don't even think about like cool shit that we liked 5 years ago that we can still bring back around and only put so little money into and like and have a great time, fun event.
Yeah.
You know, it's crazy. He says that. So I switched from Apple Music to Spotify. Shout out Spotify. And
Shout out Apple
I actually
Music.
just like listen to a podcast on the guy who started Spotify. He's like a young dude's dope. So it was dope because I used to use Spotify back in the day because it was like the only one. It was like they were like the first streaming services, weren't they, for the most part?
Kind of, yeah.
Like this like of this new age of just like having
I remember them.
Spotify and Apple Music and stuff like that.
Pandora.
Well, I would say I don't know if SoundCloud was the first, but like
sense.
more of a public version. But the
So
first
you ain't got a
worked
bootleg
with artists.
Yeah.
First that worked with artists directly that were already established.
So I was like, dude, so like years ago in college, I was making like playlists. So I have this like crazy, it's called Onomatopoeia, this playlist. And I'm like looking at it, I'm like, yo, I've been listening. So when he says revisiting stuff from like the old, like I'm like listening to all these old songs I used to enjoy a lot. And I'm like, that's why I was like, man, I wish I could get my Zoom working again.
Yeah.
I listen to stuff I listen to high school.
Yeah. Because like there's all these little points in time and you're like listening and those little nostalgic moments almost just like smells bring you back to certain moments.
Yeah.
Visually things bring you back to certain moments. Those same sounds will also bring you back to these moments in your life. And it will give somebody a whole like feeling that is ethereal, that like takes you to another spiritual level, that like of just like happiness. Because you know, there's some. I mean, life is happy, and and so like just building these fun, like, you know, spiritual events that everybody has a good time is always good.
Yeah. I think the last question I have, because like this podcast is like freaking like long.
We're going deep.
We're going very deep. I think the one thing.
Joe Rogan joints. Those motherfuckers be long.
Hey.
What, in your sense, you know, the culture goes wherever you go. This is the question I have. What is the social scene in Louisville right now? You two have been in the scene for I don't know how many years, and a lot of people are trying to figure out what fits to where or what music they want to listen to, and you know who they want to be around. Like I know there's been some drama.
Oh, I mean, yeah.
And I'm just like, okay, so we don't want this in the scene, but there's something else that we want in the scene. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I think for the scene, whatever the scene is, I mean, somebody told me the other day if I like completely left here, there would be a big void in the city of like just things going on, of like what is happening.
Yeah.
Just in general of like happenings and like this whole spectacle of what's going on. And I was like, cool, like I hope that like there wouldn't be a void. Like I hope people take what I did and see that as an example and like develop on that. But I mean, I really don't see like anything missing here right now. Like of course we don't have like a cool actual like club culture or anything.
But we're building that right now.
And we're trying to build that, but like, and if it ever existed, it'd be great. But like what we have right now is a really cool bar, like
Our bar scene
like
here
a
is
DIY dive bar scene that like people can jump around on. The cocktails are great, drinks are cheap, everything is so like low cost, and like, you know, even like Ubers are cheap here. Like this is, I mean, I literally call Louisville Liquorville by like on how like
wow.
Like once we get legalized here, like it would be a dream city to live in.
What do you mean legalized?
Like legalized, like legal. What do you mean? Weed.
Oh,
like
my bad. I thought this was already legal.
But no.
This
but
place
just
is
like
pretty
things,
wet.
I mean, I don't smoke, but just things like that would like. Well, like this could like it is literally the center of like America, and like there is so much potential for like things to like happen here and develop, and Nashville is really popping off right now. But like socially, it's all really cool. I don't think anybody's doing anything wrong.
Yeah.
I think everybody's in a development mode right now, and working with our limitations.
Yeah.
And trying to build from nothing or pre-existing things that get shut down, and just it's always you gotta like burn your house to build a better one sometimes. So
dude, that's a good statement. The one thing I figure like in like the social aristocratic scene is that these kids who are smart and are coming from diverse backgrounds want a piece of that old money.
Oh yeah.
And that's personally in my game, in my territories. I'm like, look, I want to make some good money with some amazing investors. And it's hard, but you have to be around that group for so long.
I mean, yeah.
You gotta build that trust.
Yeah, you gotta, that trust. I mean, they're not just gonna throw you the bag. Unless you're like directly blood related to them, and I mean, and they still won't ever throw you the bag. Sometimes you can develop this trust for so long, and there might be some underlying racism or other things that exist,
or
ageism, like, or trust, like where they will never like actually. Like, my dad first came back from Russia with like about like 6 different like video game designers that he was working with, and he was making his own video games. And he actually approached the owner of Humana to invest only $5,000 in a video game company. My dad was in the talks with the guy that owns Epic Games on like doing some like things together, which is Fortnite. This is the 90s. Humana, the owner of Humana, who he grew up with, one of the like sons, but like we grew up with, would not put in $5,000 to a video game company with genius programmers, which is nothing to the owner.
This is hilarious because Frank's youngest brother is
obsessed with Fortnite.
Hugest video gamer, and it's just I didn't know this about Pops, aka Tom Dumbsdorff. That I didn't know that.
Yeah, so like
this is new to me.
So this is I mean he eventually sold like the video game company for like a pretty decent penny, but like it was just done. Like he didn't get. I mean, he made like, probably $25,000 or something from it or something.
Yeah.
Like it was done in the 90s, and so.
Don't tell me.
Huh? But it's just interesting because like they're the same age. You can have a relationship with somebody for so long and ask for like the littlest slice of nothing. Because I mean, insurance company in the 90s, like they own everything. Like why would you not be like, all right, $5,000 to video games right now? Like that shit in the 90s was starting to jump off like crazy.
Yeah, that's all the games,
especially Atari
and my dad's like game now is is on like some like underground like, damn, this shit is legendary secret like look like people are like talking about on forums and stuff. Like it's like some cool like, so there could have been a whole Louisville video game industry if Humana would have just put their like so like things like this. You can work so hard, but it definitely has to come from you yourself at the end of the day, because nobody's gonna like build your bag for you. Like,
and that's the one thing I've learned over the past couple of years is just like I have to stop relying on people.
Yeah.
And like only know when and here's the thing, like if this person's not gonna give it to me, then I have to be willing to do all the work myself, or if this person does give it to me, I have to go in as if they're not gonna give it to me. And what are my alternatives? Like, if he gives this to me, cool. If he doesn't, all right, I'm gonna go do the thing that I want to do. And I think that's what's holding a lot of Louisville young people back. Is just like they're waiting on somebody to give them a chance. I'm like, nah, bump that. Just do it.
And that goes to what we said in the beginning, man. Do what the hell you do with what you have around you. And I mean, I think it's an important thing that Issa Rae, creator of Insecure on HBO.
Yeah.
She said back in the day when she was like creating web series and stuff, she wasn't going for like the big fish or whatnot, like big actors and stuff like that to like, or even like C-list actors, which would be considered like big actors to her. She was working with people around her. Yeah. You know what I mean? And just like you're working, what's the lateral? Or what's the you know what I mean? You're working like, just like
work in your comfort zone.
And just like getting people like, I remember like the biggest problem I used to have with like music and doing like videos. I remember I was like, man, I want to do this huge video, but then like some dudes charging like $1,000. I'm like, man, I ain't got that. But I got Frank and I got me and I had both of our creativities. And this man knows what he's doing with a camera. You know what I mean? So like our best video was Listerine, and we shot that on Super 8, and we tried to get some VHS footage or whatnot, but that didn't work out.
We have VHS. I just didn't record it.
Well, shoot, I guess. Oh.
Yeah, I just didn't use it because it was
you didn't
fine.
use it. Okay. Yeah. So then
VHS worked fine. I
exactly.
VCR.
So then, you know what I mean? So we're just like working within our just like limits as far as like just artists who don't have like a crazy amount of money to spend on stuff. But like, what's it like $100, $200 to get the
Super 8? Yeah, it's like one roll is like $100 something. So.
Well, yeah, and you know that's what I'm saying. If you remember back when old YouTube was around, and these people just had video cameras.
That's totally what I started on. Was I mean, I have viral videos back in the day.
Yeah, like we just
crank like Cardinal Bird.
Oh my gosh, y'all silly. But
that wasn't me.
So yeah, I mean, starting out on YouTube, really 2004, Smosh, all those little inspirational vlog things that
they just had a camera and an idea.
I mean, we had the mini DV camera. We were going downtown. This is 2004, 5, 6. I think it was 6 actually. It's like the jump off on that. And we were going downtown, filming people with like a fake mic down at the waterfront, and like asking questions, making.
Oh, sorry.
making videos.
Sorry, I don't know why I was
like, it's recording.
Sorry. All right. Anyway,
my man's got
we'll edit that out. We'll edit that out.
But yeah, so like doing that really like pushed like the community of what we were doing and like branching out and connecting with people all around the world. And like we had subscribers, fans, like little other girls around the whole world. Like this was before IG that were like hitting us up. We love your music videos, like making the dumbest vlogs and whatnot, and just connecting with people all over the world that like. And like this is before like, you know, Team 10 and all this other like thing was ever existed. And Vine, you know, so that really started like the like internet connectivity that we see today was like the cool like YouTube content, because like not only did we do music for those videos, we did the videos, we did graphics for everything. So like we were learning everything from just because like, you know, there's so much media and parts that go into a video.
Yeah.
And that's really a beautiful way to bring all these things together, like images, moving images, pictures, acting, how you carry yourself performing. Like and now we have phones that do the same thing, so
it's getting crazy. But
you really don't need that many tools to do anything, because I mean, if you have it, don't limit yourself by like saying, oh, I need this camera or that camera or that.
I'm gonna tell you something. My favorite quote, and I say this to myself just to like get myself out of like these like mental funks that I go through every so now and then. Mm-hmm. Comparison is the thief of all joy.
Yeah. Did you tweet that out?
Dude, I've put that out. I say that all the time.
Okay, I was like,
I think maybe Theodore Roosevelt said that. I'm maybe like confusing what old white man said that.
Yeah.
But still, like I'm telling you, man, like when you know, a lot of times like people who I look up to as far as just like video and music and just like dope content, Solange, Tyler the Creator, A$AP Rocky, guys like that, Travis Scott, stuff like that, and I'm like, man, why can't I do what they're doing? But I'm like, man, they got.
And it's also their team and who's behind. Like,
you know what I mean? Like, there's so much stuff behind the closed doors.
Because you know, we give a lot of credit to a lot of these big artists who are big artists and have.
Who are big artists?
Who have people. Have an art director that's been working for them since the jump, and have a stylist and whatever else. So, you know, you're like, okay, I have to do all this much. I have to live up to this God-like figure, and you're underestimating. You're over like you're giving way too much credit to the artist, because there's 20 people behind every one, like 20 plus people behind every one person that's doing all that. And if they aren't like, besides like Tyler. But
I was like, yo, Tyler, he's been out here. You know?
But like, you know, but you can see how he developed and where he got to where he's now, and how, you know.
Right.
And even dudes like Kevin, Abstract, have people like HK who's doing like everything visually.
Well, that whole Kevin, that whole Brockhampton team was crazy. So,
but like, you gotta give HK a lot of credit on that.
Shout out HK.
Shout out Henry Kearns too.
Other HK, yeah.
Other HK, he doing big things. But yeah, that's really, you know, all the questions I don't know if you've had for me or if I have for you, but yeah, I think this was a good. Is it a podcast?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, we're doing cast video. I mean, we're putting it all together. So it's
launching 2026 YouTube soon.
2026 cast.
Come through.
2026 cast.
Frank likes using Vimeo. We're gonna put it on YouTube, y'all.
Dude, yeah.
I don't think I have enough space on Vimeo. I'm out on the count. I'm not upgrading to Pro, so that's on YouTube.
You gotta do it. But no, guys, I appreciate this moment. I appreciate this time. I hope hopefully we get to Snap. Hopefully we get together again, but I just want to encourage you.
First off, stop.
Okay.
100% get together again. And I'm glad we did this. Spur of the moment. I called him up. I said, hey, come through.
I didn't even know. I just called this man to talk about some other shit. And I was like, I
won't lie. I be waiting for Frank to be hitting me up sometimes.
Hey, bro.
Hey, I'll really hit people up. I'll wait for them to hit me up a lot.
This man hits me up every day, bro.
But y'all like be friends and stuff.
He calls me in the morning. He FaceTimes me. We're FaceTime boys.
I'm joking, man.
But for real though,
we're not FaceTime boys. We're Messenger boys. I do not have an iPhone, people.
Oh my gosh.
Hey, which I still call FaceTime.
These people.
Damn. These people.
These artists. These influencers.
People.
Whatever you want to call. As long as you call me Quincy and Michael Lee Nelson, the young impressionist, come at me. But yeah, or MCQ. That's the rap name. That's right.
Oh damn.
But no, I be getting down. But no, yeah, I just appreciate you guys doing this.
We really went in.
Yeah, we did.
All right, it's about 1 hour and 30.
Yeah, that's a lot of editing.
Oh, it's not really. I mean, there's not much editing. We're not cutting much. We're keeping it all.
Oh goodness.
We're literally.
There's some stuff we can cut out. There's 100%.
Yeah, there's some stuff that we can cut out.
There's just like pause moments of just like not saying anything.
Like pause.
We're kind of just going off.
But yeah,
I mean, I want to keep it raw.
Are they gonna sit through all that raw?
She said. Okay.
Oh my gosh.
For the heads.
All right, okay, I'm done here. Thank you guys.
Explosion, cue it.
It's been great. I hope you enjoyed this casting, and stay lit. Louisville, Kentucky.
We're gonna keep on bringing some fire people to come through and talk with us. So.
And lastly, man.
Yeah.
If you're in Louisville, if you're in whatever small town or whatnot, if you're not gonna move out of your city, do something for your city.
That's what I'm saying.
Straight up, man. I'm tired
Build
of
it,
whining.
and they will come.
I'm tired of seeing people say, "Oh, there's nothing here." Then bring it here.
Hey,
you feel me? And shout out to what Frank said. Build it, and they will come. Because that's a true statement. Straight up. And when you see the creatives, the 2026 events, when you see the creatives that Quincy has around, whatever if he's at the fashion show, if this man's out in France or whatever, that's what's happening. Because we're building something. Okay.
Come join us if you dare.
I'm out of here.
Skirt. MCQ. Hey, follow me on IG. So Quincy7. You know what I'm saying?
All right.
I'm actually walking out.
Oh, okay.